Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I know I complain about track meets a lot, but I kind of wanted to explain myself because I'm sure that most people who know a professional athlete in the world of track and field, and if they're not the top athlete or the second best athlete, then in the United States they don't have meets to go to. So I wanted to show you the process of finding meets, where they're located, and at least what issues that I run into over the summer months as far as how do I maintain a career whenever there's no place to go. Okay, so first to start, you have to go to a World Athletics ranked meet. If you go to just a random track meet, it doesn't count for anything. It's as if you did nothing. So, to be a professional athlete, in order to qualify for the USA outdoor meet or the USA indoor meet, or to get pulled into other international competitions off of that, you have to have a really good World Athletic ranking, and you can only get that by going to World Athletic meets. So again, if it's not on this list, it doesn't matter. It is a pretend track meet in the eyes of World Athletics. Okay, so this list, right? It's like, oh yeah, they give you a list. No. Okay, so I guess to begin with, right, they list it off like this, so it's like clearly throughout the whole world, and you've got all the countries going on down here. Well, I mean, what I just did was I added the country, and I added that I want to know about the meets in the United States. Oh, there we go. Sorry for throwing you around there. All right, so then, it's like, oh, okay, so I put this to be the entire summer. So from May 31st to, I think, a week after the USA outdoor meet. So this is the whole summer, and it's like, wow, that's a list. Okay, I like this, right? Right? Sorry. Okay, let's talk about these details. I went through week by week to talk about these things. So now that we have this master list, well, let's also make it to where it's for track and field. So it's like it is going to cut down a little bit, not a lot, but it's going to cut down a little bit of those extra fluffy things. And now we've got just a track list, and it's like, yeah, that is a little shorter than the one before, but it's still a decent list, right? Like, why am I complaining? Okay, let's first talk about where these things are located. So where is that one? I was like, I've got it already. All right, so what I've done, if you can't already tell, is I've gone week by week to show you. Yeah, here we go. So I've brought you week to week to show you where these track meets are. So that way you can at least see, like, oh, okay, there's some. All right, so this is the week of June 7th, approximately. Let's see, I printed off the list because. Now, let me see if I can find. Yeah, okay, so these are meets between approximately the 4th and the 8th. So that must be a Monday through Sunday, where I put the Saturdays as the date that it is. So it's like, about 1 week around June 7th, where it kind of ends around June 7th. So that's what, that up here is about. Now, as you can see, we've got a couple on the East Coast. We've got one in St. Louis over here. We've got one in Oklahoma, right? We've got some on the West Coast. So, that sounds great. But when we go back to this list, and I won't be jumping back and forth that often throughout this whole conversation, but let's see, starting with June the 4th. All right, hammer. All right, that doesn't have high jump. Festival of Miles, no high jump. Pole vault, no high jump. Throw series, no high jump. Let's see. This one, I actually don't remember what all events are in that one, but when that happens, okay, so the June 7th Battle Road Series, okay, so this is another thing that I don't like about this list is I click this button and it throws me to the top and it shows me all the stuff. It's like, why did it have to throw me to the top? But as you can see, no high jump. Okay, so then let's go back to June 7th. We were on Battle Road. Yeah, okay, so no high jump. Golden West Coast. That one has high jump. So we got one that has high jump. Okay, so 800, no high jump. Toad Fest, no high jump. Yeah, no high jump. Let me scroll back down. Hopefully we can find Toad Fest. Okay, South Dakota Challenge. I hate to break it to you, but no high jump. No high jump, no high jump. Okay, so that means that whole week for that one California dot over here, this is my only opportunity that entire week. Okay, so then we come over here, right, June 14th. Yeah, there's some dots here. My only opportunity is the one right here, and I plan to go to that one because I live in the Indiana area, so that's only about a 4 to maybe 5 hour drive. I'm not entirely sure, but it's right around there. So I'm gonna be headed here. Okay, so then let's go to the next week. Yeah, June 21st, that week. These don't have the high jump, do they? Actually, okay, so the New York Grand Prix, that one right there, that one has the high jump. It's category A. I'm gonna try to make it into that one, but we'll see. The New Jersey one that's right here, I think, also has the women's high jump. So it's like I have 2 opportunities on the exact same day right here, both right there. The rest of them, no high jump. Okay, so then on the June 28th weekend, that's where these are all located. And again, anytime you see something in Oklahoma, it's throws. I think anytime you see something up here, also throws. I had to cut out a lot of the rest of these lists because they're all under 18. They are all, okay, we've got Grand Slam. There's no field in that one, right? Yeah, there's just no high jump in any of these. So then July 5th, there's only one meet that weekend. There's no women's high jump in it, and it's also I think it's it's Prefontaine Classic, so it's ranked super high. But they still don't have women's high jump. And then this week, we've got 2 opportunities. They're both ranked B, but neither of them have the women's high jump. And so then July 19th, we got, throws. Actually, 2 of them are in Oklahoma. There's 4 opportunities this week, whereas 2 of them are here, but none of them have the women's high jump. So, yeah. Okay, so going back to this list, the reason that I did these maps per week or whatever is because if you haven't noticed, there's no map function, right? And also I had to research, here, I'll show you. We'll go back to this screen for a second. So it's like I printed them all off for a reason, right? Like I needed to be able to make notes because there's no thing on there to say like, oh, this one has the women's high jump. So it's like, oh, this is a side. So I just put these X's right here to say that there's no women's high jump. And then on this side of the paper, it's like, oh, okay, here's the 2 that are on the exact same day that have the women's high jump. I thought maybe, but those are high school meets, so they got X through. That's the Grand Valley one that I plan to go to. And then there's none. And then there's that random California, which I can't travel to California because that's kind of like super far away. And then this whole page has no women's high jump. So that's the United States. So then what you gotta, again, I hate the fact that I have to do that in terms of print them off make my own maps, figure out what is on which days, and then also click through each one of these to figure out, like, does it have it? Oh, no. Okay, does this one have it? No. I would rather there be some sort of map function up here, and not just like a discipline of track and field, but specifically women's high jump, because not all the meets have the event. Okay, so what I did next was I was like, let's go to Canada. So I've got Canada now in that federation bucket, and it's like, I'm scrolling through, and it's like, we're still scrolling. Like, okay, I can tell that this is a longer list. And when I printed this one off, it is about one entire page longer. So it's like they have one entire page more than the United States. And since I don't know Canada as well, I did make maps, as you can tell. I kind of might have already showed them to you. But I did make maps for that. And I did the exact same process. I went through and I tried to figure out which ones had the high jump and which ones did not have the high jump, and also where were they located. But it turns out that, it seems at least, that more meets in Canada are actual full track and field meets, so more of them have all the events. So after I was checking for a little bit, I was like, maybe I need to think about this a little bit more. So what I did after that was, instead of looking at all of them, all 90 of them apparently, I cut out the F's and I was looking at the B's and the C's. And so whenever you look at just the C's, all 4 of them, I believe the Johnny Loring has the high jump. This one, Royal City, I believe has the high jump, but I think Bob Figures does not. We've got the pole vault and the triple jump and shot put. And then this one in August 6th has the high jump. So there's 3 opportunities that are level C in Canada right now. And then when we look at B, well, we got their national championships, so it's like that clearly can't go to. But Harry, there's no women's high jump in that one, and then Edmonton is no women's high jump. So there's no level B meets, which is fine, but there's still 3 level C meets. And if you could imagine, my indoor USA championships were listed as D. So C level meets are more important than the national indoor USA championship meets. And to me, that seems odd. But I wanted to at least go through and show you where they're located. So we're headed back over here. And so, yeah, okay. So the first week of the June 7th, same thing. It's like these cities you'll see a lot. And again, I'm physically located in this area. So going from here through Detroit up here is not that bad. So my main focus was which meets are right here and when are they? So going through, we've got the next week, we've got a couple more over here. Next week, we got a couple more over here. So then after that, it's just like those same kind of major cities right above the United States. It's like we've got a couple over here, some move around. July 12th, again, we got a couple over here. And July 19th, got a handful of them. And then July 26th, and then also the week or two right before the USA championships. The Canadian championships are the same weekend, so it kind of makes sense that they might calm things down because 1 week before the deadline hits. So if you hit the mark here on this weekend, I don't know if it's inside the deadline or not. So it's like, yeah, right before the championships, things do slow down only so people can rest and get prepared for their championship meets. But bringing you back around here to this Windsor, well, I know I'm bouncing around and a lot of my friends are from the United States. So Windsor, right? that is one of the sea level meets that we saw on that list of 4. And then this next week right here, I'm guessing that's Guelph. That one is also a sea level meet, one of those 4. So that's 2 of them, and they are 2 of them that have the women's high jump. So that's my plan. And the other thing is nice is that it's right after the Grand Valley meet. So my plan for the summer is to get 3 meets in less than a week by going up to Grand Valley and then over to Windsor and Guelph and then back home. So the back home trip will be about a 7-hour drive. So that one will be a little longer, but I mean, that'd be fantastic, right? Well, these 3 meets, I might have to give up one of them if I get into the Grand Prix meet. That's an A-level meet. So theoretically, there would be possibly more competition points at an A-level meet if I perform well versus a C-level meet. So I might have to figure out that kind of travel, but we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, okay, so that's the thing is, that's my entire summer. Like, I can't find any other meets that aren't during those about 5 to 7 days. So those 5 to 7 days, I have I have 4 track meets to pick from, and I can only do 3 during those 7 days. So all of those lists, those long lists that are hard to look through, that don't have a map, that don't have all of the criteria to filter by, you have to really read and understand. Printing things off is honestly the easiest way that I can find to go through these lists. And it's like, I've dived in, as you can tell. I've made dots. I did this, I did that. I read through all of them. I've been checking to see if any new meets pop up, which would be almost unheard of, being that we're so close to all this stuff, but you never know. So I have been trying to figure this out and get updated, and that's the only thing I've come up with is, yes, I have 4 opportunities. Can only do 3. They're all in the same week, and I'm trying to figure out how to cover June and July. So about 2 months, and over this 2 months, I have track meets for exactly 7 days. Because again, if I jump at a meet that is not on this list, it doesn't count. It's as if it didn't happen. For some reason, that's the thing with World Athletics. You need to pay them money for them to consider you a track meet. So I'm just kind of relying on people to pay World Athletics a bunch of money so that way we can have some track meets. And also, I don't know if anyone knows how thankful you should be for having Canada right there, but I'm extremely thankful for Canada. Not only do they have so many track meets, they also have so many track meets that are not level F, right? It seems like they actually care about their athletes. There's like all of that fantastic stuff going on. But what's insane is when I was applying for those track meets that they have, there was one form. Just one form. So I went to one track meet and I'm like, oh, let's see what I got to do to get into this meet. So I find the interest form. And as I'm filling out the interest form, I'm like, this is kind of long, but like, yeah, whatever. So I get to like towards the end of it and it's like, okay, now rank all of the meets on how interested you are or not interested you are on going to them. And I had all of the track meets that were above an F. So it's like the one that was E, the couple that were D, the 4 that were C, and then I think there was somewhere in the 2 to 4 range that were B. Like they were literally all on that list. So I'm going through the list and I'm saying like basically yes to everything that's above a D. So all the B's, all the C's. I'm just like, yes, I would love to go to any of these. Yes. So then, yeah, I get to the end and I've submitted it and I'm like, okay, that was crazy if that's actually how they do that. So then I went to another one of the track meets that are level C to enter in that one. And it had the same link. It went to the same form and I was like, are you kidding me? This is fantastic. And so I did that like, I don't know, Thursday. I think I did that on Thursday. And it's Saturday, actually, right now is Saturday. And I have already received emails back from the meet directors to say, we would love to have you in the meet. Here is an email, or not an email, here is a link to how to apply, like, do the registration. You can register for our meet. Here's the link. Okay, Canada. I mean, that sounds fantastic. Like, I am so incredibly happy that this kind of came across my... I feel like last year I thought about doing one of these, but like, I ended up just... after an entire year, 11 years of coaching collegiate track and field, sometimes you get to the end of the season for them and it's just like, I need a moment, I need a breather. I can't just keep going. I'm gonna get sick. I'm like, let's just calm everything down. And so I think I chose not to go because I was still just mentally recovering from being drug across the entire Midwest for the last 8 months for them and for me. So it's like, I just needed to breathe for a moment. Well, okay, so I do see a reason for why World Athletics would like to have all the meets listed on this thing. I don't like a lot of other things about it in terms of how they completely disregard meets that are not on this list. It just seems like they have such a monopoly over this thing. And I mean, yeah, they have a little contact us form somewhere on there, but I don't think that they're going to take too kindly to comments that are like, you're a little too controlling, or why in the world are you doing it this way? Or, I know you're based in Europe, but for the United States, like, we need to kind of change this international kind of category for, bigger countries that we don't have that many international. Or why does it have to pay prize money in order to be ranked higher than an F? Because colleges, right, it works for Europe, but it does not work for the United States because of how our professionals are hoisted up. They're brought up by colleges, right? Most of our meets are held by colleges, not by USATF. And with that, it's like, they're doing what they need to do in order to compete well for, within their conference, within their own national meet. Anything after that is like cool, but like only if it fits into our schedule. Like, we are a college, we do this. So the season is different, right? There's just so many differences on how the United States does it versus, Europe. And whenever all these rules are based off of a country that does things, or I guess a continent that does things so differently than our continent, it doesn't really apply. I just don't think that they're gonna like comments like, hey, that's not how we do things over here. Can we adjust some of these rules to make it make more sense? Because, colleges, well, with the NIL, whatever is going on there, colleges can't pay prize money. They can't cover hotel costs or travel costs for people to come to their meets. There's just a lot of things that they can't do because they are colleges. But that is one of the requirements for certain meets to be ranked higher on a list, on this World Athletic list. Like, money has to be involved. And if no money, it's level F. All right, I think I'm gonna stop complaining for a little bit and go enjoy the wonderful weather that we're having. It feels just absolutely beautiful, and it's sun hasn't even really gotten too high in the sky. I know it looks bright outside, but the sun is still pretty low. This is kind of an early morning for me. But yeah, I'm gonna stop complaining and go do some fun things. So I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and we'll talk again soon. Bye, everyone.